May I commence the proceedings, my lord? Tamil Thai வாழ்த்து.
நீராரும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கிழிலொழுகும் சீராரும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அது சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை சிறமியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
May I request Learned Advocate General to give farewell address to Honorable Third Justice M.S.Ramesh.
Yes, last 2 pages. My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice, other Honorable Judges of the Madras High Court, family and friends of Honorable Justice M.S.Ramesh, Learned Additional Solicitor General A.R.L. Sundaresan, who is with us online from Cochin, Learned Additional Advocate Generals Thiruvalargal Ajmal Khan, Veera Kadiravan, Haja Nasuruddin, Kumaresan, Bhaskaran, J. Ravindran, Ramanlal, Chandramohan, Suresh Kumar, Neelakantan and Muthukumar. Learned State Public Prosecutor Thiru Hassan Muhammad Jinnah, Learned State Government Pleader Thiru Edwin Prabhakar, Learned Government Pleader Madurai Thiru P. Tilakkumar, Learned Government Law Officers of Tamil Nadu at the Principal Bench and Madurai Bench of the Madras High Court, Learned Public Prosecutor of Puducherry Thiru M.V. Ramchandramurthy, Learned Government Pleader of Puducherry Thiru Ravi Kumar, Learned Government Law Officers of Puducherry and the Law Officers of the Union of India, Thiru P.S. Amalraj and Thiru V. Karthikeyan, Chairman and Vice Chairman of the Bar Council of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, Thiru S. Prabhakar, Vice Chairman of the Bar Council of India, Thiru M. Bhaskar, President of the Madras Bar Association, Thiru Mohana Krishnan, President of the Madras High Court Advocates Association, Thirumathi N.S. Revati, President of Women Lawyers Association, Thiru P. Selvaraj, President of the Law Association and other office bearers of the respective associations, Thiru Isaac Mohanlal, President of the Madurai Bench of the Madras High Court Bar Association, Thiru Andi Raj, President, Madurai Bench High Court Advocates Association, Thiru M.K. Suresh, President, Madurai Bar Association of Madurai Bench of Madras High Court, Thiru V. Ramakrishnan, President of the Madras High Court Madurai Bench Advocates Association, Ms. J. Anandavalli, President of Women Advocates Association, Madurai, Thirumati S. Ali, Registrar General, the officers and staff of the Registry of the Madras High Court at the Principal Bench and its bench at Madurai, fellow senior advocates and beloved advocates, representatives of the electronic and print media, viewers watching the proceedings online, ladies and gentlemen, Anevarukkum Malai Vanakkam. While we were last assembled here in this hall on 31st of July 2025, when I gave a welcome to Justice Vinod Kumar in close proximity to the farewells of Chief Justice Sri Ram, Justice R. Subramaniam, and a hearty welcome to my Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice Manindra Mohan Srivastava. It is true that in the last address, I commented about how the frequency of these addresses had started testing my ability to still make each address different. I had mentioned that I was subject to the vicissitudes of life, looking forward to a long break till December when my next duty would dawn. It did when Justice M. Sundar had to leave urgently to get sworn in as Chief Justice of Manipur without a farewell address. Since then, I had no address to make till today. In all honesty, emotionally and physically draining as this exercise is, I did miss playing this role. I am only a sutradhar, a storyteller who's as good as his story. I have been served with a lovely story today, and it is my lack of planning that has caused me to feel a little disappointed with myself for not giving the subject its rightful due. Even as a student, I was one of those late latifs, always preparing for exams only in the last minute. I had adequate time to have got myself prepped up for today, but the student in me made me push it to the last minute. And since last week, due to circumstances beyond my control, I got entrapped in situations requiring my complete involvement for the state. So here I am, like a recalcitrant schoolboy, seeking your collective understanding and forgiveness from my dear friend Justice M.S.Ramesh, that if I am falling short of your expectations. I know I will make it good with my friend in a way he will fully accept, as we are both birds of the same feather. Before your collective imaginations work, let me hasten, I meant taking him for a nice meal. Tirupati Mohana and Thiru Selvanathan became the proud parents of a boy after Boxing Day, to be precise, 2 days after Christmas in 1963, which I jokingly called the Chinese year of retirement instead of the year of rabbit, which is what it really is. This was in reference to the fact that between January 1963 and December 1963, as many as 11 children have been born across this state, who all became judges of the Madras High Court and remitted office on various dates. It started on 7th of January 25 when Justice Seshasai retired, till today when Justice M.S.Ramesh is being given a farewell, though his actual superannuation is next week. It is a fact that this mass retirement is affecting the administration of justice, especially when the speed of replacement is not in our hands, but somewhere between Providence and the providers. The parents named the child M.S.Ramesh, or MSR in short. As the Madurai-born lad was growing up, how prophetic the acronym MSR became. He was truly the Madurai-style Raja, whether it be in the classrooms where he did his schooling, or at the Madurai Law College where he joined in 1984. After graduating from Law College, his lordship migrated to Chennai and practiced law under the tutelage of Thiru S. Jagadisan, a very popular and respected lawyer of this honorable court, who later on ascended the bench and retired as a highly respected judge. The Madurai-style Raja then became the Madras-style Raja, and replete with his hallmark tonsorial style, reminiscent of the Hollywood icon of the 1960s, Yul Brynner. Personally speaking, I have known Justice Ramesh since his sojourn to this High Court, and like his mentor, he too had the grace and a smile while dealing with everyone. After having learnt the craft from his master, Justice Ramesh stepped out of the cocoon and set up his own private practice, concentrating mainly in writs and also in criminal matters. Particular reference can be made to his expertise in labor and service jurisprudence, apart from a complete familiarity with civil law of various varieties. The keen mind and a thirst for legal learning also made his lordship become a part of the reputed Indian law reports, in which he continued as a senior reporter for a considerable period. He was also a very good teacher and was a member of the guest faculty for labor laws in law colleges in and around Chennai, including the Tamil Nadu Institute of Labor Studies. In recognition of his lordship's court performance, the government of Tamil Nadu was pleased to include him as part of the office of the government pleader in 2012, and his lordship continued as the additional government pleader till he caught the eyes of Chief Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, who was at that time desperately looking for talented lawyers as the strength of the Madras High Court, including the Madurai bench, touched its all-time low. 5th October 2016 is a day no lawyer of the Madras High Court will ever forget. 15 judges were sworn in by the Chief Justice. I had jokingly remarked at the farewell address I had given to some of the 15 who retired on 30th April of this year of what a day it must have been for my dear departed friend and former Advocate General Thiru K. Muthukumarsamy. What I realized today is that thanks to the enormously large numbers, he kept everyone's welcome to just a few sentences, which itself took considerable time, as I recall. Today, what Justice Ramesh could not get during his swearing in, he is getting in multiple measures in the solitude of this moment. It is best to describe a moment and what it feels when it is from the voice of the person itself. I now quote Justice Ramesh on his response to the Advocate General on the day of his swearing in. Quote, "This is my bugle for those unsung people who have brought me here. This is my ode to those who decided that my duty should be vibrantly vibrant. This is my submission to the long list of mighty souls who we recognize not by standing and not by presence, but who are the people who banged the hammer and made a judge." Unquote. From those words uttered that day, Justice Ramesh had acquitted himself with considerable merit. I vividly recall when his lordship sat for the first time as a single judge in the writ admission court, when I was moving a matter before him which, though under the Patents Act, was stricto sensu not an IP case, but one on procedure and administrative law. I was not surprised at the alacrity with which his lordship got the point and passed orders immediately. He has never looked back since then, whether his lordship was sitting as a single judge, or as a junior judge, or as a presiding judge of a division bench. He was never a silent spectator. It is customary in these addresses to include a select sample of judicial pronouncements rendered by the retiring judge. In your lordship's case, while I had an abundant supply of material along with my office colleagues, I carefully chose a handful representing the different jurisdictions you handled in the last 9 years. Just for the record, the registry has furnished me with the statistics of your productivity, and let it be recorded that your lordship has disposed of 85,000 cases sitting in the principal bench and the Madurai bench between 2016 and today. One of the foremost judgments which comes to my mind, authored by your lordship, is the case of Dr. S. Gauri Shankar versus the Chief Secretary to Government, wherein the petitioners had sought in a PIL for a direction to the state to facilitate bone marrow transplant at government hospitals in and around Madurai. Your lordship directed the state to form guidelines by taking into consideration that though the cost involved in undergoing a BMT is too high, the government should make an endeavor to extend all imminent and crucial medical procedures to the poor and underprivileged section of the public, as it is a constitutional duty. In Arappur Iyakam versus State of Tamil Nadu, while dealing with a petition challenging an order passed by the Assistant Commissioner of Police by which they had denied permission to conduct public meetings, your lordship held that since public meeting is a fundamental right, merely on the apprehensions of fears of law and order or situations, it cannot be denied, and directed the state police to grant protection. The interplay between Article 19 and its exceptions have been analyzed at length. In Muhammad Farooq versus Union of India, dealing with a criminal appeal against an order passed by the special courts for Bombay blast cases, The trial court rejected applications filed by the accused under 317 CRPC seeking to dispense with appearance and issued non-bailable warrants on the ground that the appellants had filed similar petitions earlier. Your Lordships had the reasoning of the trial court to be found to be arbitrary, recalled the non-bailable warrants. This reflects your Lordship's concern for human rights, even if the petitioner is an accused in a terrorist case. More recently, in RKM Powergen versus Assistant Director, your Lordship, while dealing with an order of attachment passed by the Enforcement Directorate without jurisdiction, explained the scope of Section 66(2) of the PMLA and held that during the course of investigation, if the ED comes across a violation of law, it cannot assume the role of an investigating agency and investigate those offences also. This order was also confirmed by the Apex Court recently. A critique of your Lordship's judgment will not be complete if I fail to mention a very important judgment given by your Lordships presiding over a division bench in the case of Yuvraj versus State. The judgment itself was authored by your brother Justice Anand Venkatesh, but it is a locus classicus on several important facets of law. In particular, your Lordship had dealt in depth with the social evil of honor killings as well as the freedom of the press. Regarding the latter, your Lordship had emphasized on the importance of maintaining balance between the public's right to information and the counterproductive impact of garbled, distorted, and misguided reports. Your Lordship held that a judge should be able to decide the merits of a case objectively and in an atmosphere free from the cloud of profusion of public opinion. Above all this, your Lordship will never forgive me if I fail to mention something that you had undertaken last year and the fruits of which we are going to see shortly. I mean, your Lordship's special bench sitting with Justice Senthil Kumar dealing with the unfortunate plight of lakhs of members of the Kalaimagal Sabha, an outstanding concept which just went bust. Thanks to the extraordinary initiatives taken by you, I can confidently say, having been a part of your effort, that the hundreds of crores of rupees that we are collecting, hopefully, and will recover, should bring smiles on the faces of lakhs of families across the state. It is this medal of honor that you will carry with you always, and it will be a reminder to you of a job well done, such that you can leave the corridors of this court this evening with a gratifying testimony of a clear conscience and the glorious feeling of dispensing justice instead of dispensing with justice. Easily, the most important date in your Lordship's professional life would be 13th of November this year, when your Lordship went to the United Kingdom, where you were honored with the Sir Thomas Strange Legacy of Justice Award and the Eurostar Medal of Honor at a ceremony held at the House of Lords in London. The great-granddaughter of Sir Thomas Strange was to have been present, but due to unavoidable circumstances, she could not. But for those of you here who may not know, Sir Thomas Strange was the first Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Madras between 1798 and 1817. To make you all more familiar of him, he is the figure in that beautiful portrait adorning the walls opposite the bench of my Lord the Chief Justice in the first court. The award is given to jurists to uphold courage, fairness, and compassion in justice delivery. Truly, the award got richer by the awardee. Speaking of Justice M.S.Ramesh as a person, a few of his colleagues from the bench fondly shared with me some fine qualities of his. Foremost amongst them, particularly the one, is that Justice M.S.Ramesh has never had a bad word to say about any person, however affected he may be. Secondly, like the character Karna in our epic Mahabharata, anyone who goes to Justice Ramesh for assistance or a favor will never return empty-handed. While these two commendable characteristics define the man, I can well believe that it also shaped your lordships both as a lawyer and later as a judge, for it kept your mental balance while giving yourself the opportunity to do good to mankind in the form of delivery of justice itself. Knowing your lordship's vast reservoir of goodwill and friendships that you have built over 6 decades, coupled with your keen interest in sporting activities, you will have lots to do after your superannuation. I had mentioned in one of my earlier addresses that the 60s of today is the 40s of the previous generation. In this regard, as you turn 62, let me gladden you with a little bit of trivia. 18% of the CEOs in Fortune 500 companies are over 65 years old. That about explains the peak productivity that you are currently in. When it comes to sports, I was delighted to learn that the very same 4 sports which held my interest from childhood were yours as well. I mean cricket, table tennis, carom board and snooker. I may say, rather tongue-in-cheek, that a good snooker player is a clear sign of ill-spent youth. I am sure your lordship can join me in a game of pool, a variant of snooker, whenever you and your family come to grace my home in Kodaikanal. As the ostensible leader of the bar, on behalf of a grateful legal fraternity of this High Court, I bid your lordship the very best of health and happiness on your retirement. When Justice R. Subramaniam retired, I had with some emotion recalled the words of a rock band Pink Floyd and told him, "Shine on, you crazy diamond." Considering I'm exhorting you to be completely productive once again and resume practice, if not the equally delightful pasture of arbitration, may I, with the same emotion I had that day, quote from another favorite band of ours, the Beatles, and end this address with the immortal words of John Lennon and Paul McCartney, get back to where you once belong. Good day, Jai Hind, and wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And above all, like all of us are school children, let me also say Happy Holidays.
Thank you, sir. May I request Honorable Third Justice M.S.Ramesh to offer acceptance speech.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice, Honorable brother and sister judges, Honorable former Chief Justices and former Honorable Judges of this court, the Learned Advocate General Mr. P.S. Raman, the Learned Additional Solicitor General Mr. A.R.L. Sundaresan, the Learned Additional Advocate Generals, the Deputy Solicitor Generals, the State Public Prosecutor Mr. Hassan Mohammad Jinnah, the State Government Pleader Mr. Edwin Prabhakar, all government lawyers attached to the Public Prosecutor and Government Pleader's offices, the Registrar General Mrs. Ali and all the other registrars and staff of the registry, Vice Chairman of the Bar Council of India Mr. S. Prabhakaran, Chairman of the Bar Council of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry Mr. P.S. Amalraj, and rest of the office bearers of the Bar Council, the President, Secretaries and office bearers of all the bar associations in the principal and Madurai bench, respected senior advocates, and all my dear junior advocates, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I express my deep and sincere gratitude to the Learned Advocate General for the generous words of appreciation bestowed upon me. Coming from the constitutional head of the bar of this state, those words carry a special weight and warmth. I receive them with humility, conscious that whatever contribution is attributed to me is, in truth, the result of the collective strength of this great institution, the bench, the bar, and the registry working in harmony. If my service is seen in a favorable light, it is largely because I was privileged to serve in a court that constantly inspires one to rise to its standards. Dear Advocate General, a small correction in your address. I was born and brought up at Madras. I am not pointing out this to refer me as Madras-style Raja, but to put the record straight. Today is a moment of quiet reflection and deep emotion. To demit office as a judge of the Madras High Court is not merely to conclude a professional role. It is to take leave of an institution that has profoundly shaped my thinking, my values, and my sense of duties. The Madras High Court should not only as one of the oldest constitutional courts in the country, but as a living symbol of justice, continuity, and courage. Every day on the bench carried with it a reminder that we are temporary custodians of an enduring legacy, one built by great judges, legendary lawyers, and countless unsung contributors. To have been a small part of that continuum is a privilege I shall always cherish. If I may share a personal anecdote, early in my tenure on the bench, I remember a particularly long and complex hearing that extended well beyond court hours. As I rose to leave the courtroom late in the evening, a young lawyer approached me and said, with genuine sincerity, "My lord, thank you for hearing us patiently." That moment stayed with me. It reminded me that justice is not measured only by judgments delivered, but by the care with which litigants and lawyers feel heard. From that day on, I constantly reminded myself that patience, courtesy, and attentiveness are not only optional virtues for a judge, they are essential to the very legitimacy of judicial power. Throughout my years on the bench, I have endeavored to remain faithful to three guiding principles: constitutional discipline, fairness to every litigant, and respect for the bar. If in the discharge of my duties I have fallen short at any time, I hope it will be seen as a human limitation rather than an institutional failing. I take this opportunity to place on record my deep appreciation of the bar of the Madras High Court. This bar is renowned for its learning, fearlessness, and sense of responsibility. The assistance rendered by the counsels, often meticulously prepared, sometimes passionately argued, but almost always principled, has been invaluable. I leave the bench enriched by the constant intellectual engagement that this bar provides. To my brother and sister judges, I express my profound gratitude. The spirit of collegiality, mutual respect, and quiet exchange of wisdom within this institution has been a source of great strength. It has been an honor to sit alongside judges whose commitment to justice is matched only by their integrity. Before I conclude, I must speak of a person without whom this journey would not have been possible: my wife Archana. Judicial office often demands long hours, emotional detachment, and an unrelenting sense of duty that leaves little room for personal time. Archana has borne these demands with extraordinary grace and quiet strength. Along with Archana, my children, Neeti and Nitin, stood by me with patience, understanding, and unwavering support, often sacrificing their own time, comfort, and family moments, so that I could discharge my responsibilities with focus and integrity. On this occasion, I wish to place on record not only my deep appreciation, but also a sincere apology to them for the many occasions when the demands of office took precedence over family time. Any success or satisfaction attributed to my service truly belongs as much to them as it does to me. I equally would like to thank my brother and sister and their family members who have always been beside me and my family in the need of the hour. I would like to thank the Registrar General and all the members of the registry in general, and the various committees I had associated with in particular. My special thanks to the staff of J section and protocol, both in the principal as well as the Madurai bench. I would be failing in my duty if I don't thank the staff who were closely associated with me, both in my chambers as well as at my residence, whose efficiency and dedication ensure that the wheels of justice move steadily and silently. Their contribution often goes unnoticed, but it is foundational to the credibility of the institution. Some of them, whose names I can recollect, are my personal assistants, Mr. Vasant, Ms. Swati Negi, Mrs. Pratibha, Mr. Kishore, Mrs. Kasturi, Ms. Anupriya, Mrs. R. Rajalakshmi, Mr. K. Balaji, Mr. Monica, Mrs. Rohini, Mrs. Tamil Selvi, who are all my personal assistants. My court officers, Mrs. Anuradha, Mrs. Vijayalakshmi, Mrs. Shobha, Mrs. Amuda, and my research law assistants, Ms. Dharani, Ms. Akshaya, and Ms. Kavya. My thanks are also to my personal security officers, Mr. Shanmugam, Mr. Madhavan, Mr. Satyaseelan, Mr. Premnath, and Mr. Naushit. The office assistants, Mr. Shankar, Mr. Ravana, Mr. Saravanan, Mr. Kalidas, Mr. Karthik, Mr. Mariappan, Mr. Sachindran, and Ms. Amuda. My drivers, Kanyappan, Navanidam, Kannan, and Mr. Mohan Rangam. My residential assistants, Mrs. Usharani, Mr. Saravanan, Mr. Jagan, Mr. Lakshmi, and Ms. Shanmugapriya. My security guards, Mr. Rajesh, Mr. Bilal, Mr. Ponraj, Mr. Poobalan, and Mr. Vinod, and the PWD staff, Mr. Vicky, Mr. Hari, Ms. Devi, Mr. Karthik Raja, and Mr. Muthuvel. As I step away from the bench, I do so with gratitude rather than regret. Gratitude for the trust reposed in me, for the opportunity to serve, and for the countless experiences that have shaped me both professionally and personally. Though I may lay aside the robe, the values it symbolizes, independence, impartiality, humility, and service will remain with me for the rest of my life. I conclude by thanking everyone present today and all those who have supported me during this journey. I leave this great institution with deep respect, abiding affection, and an unshakable faith in its future. May the Madras High Court continue to stand tall as a beacon of justice, true to its glorious past, and equal to the challenges of the times ahead. Thank you all.
Thank you, my lord. May I conclude the proceedings, my lord? National anthem.
सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मा